Recently, massive storm hit Texas, causing millions of local people living without electricity. If you were the leader of a city or state, what would you do at this moment? There are many things you can do, such as helping the affected people, repairing damaged infrastructure, rescuing homeless people, or negotiating with the power companies. But Tim Boyd, mayor of Colorado City in Texas, posted in an already deleted Facebook, "The city or the country or any other service, no one owes you or your family anything. And only strong will survive and the weak will perish." You know what? Even in face of such a catastrophe, he didn't forget to satirize the socialist countries. He called the situation the product of a socialist government. He also said a socialist government feeds people to believe that few will work and others will become dependent for handout. I'm not an American. I only lived in the US for a short period of time, but now I can emphasize with the people of Texas who have suffered from the storm. But equally, I feel shame for Tim's comments. This is the typical socialist Darwinist who has no humanism and only worships talking with his bare fists. Social Darwinism caused many disasters in the 20th century, such as the sterilization of the mentally-ill people, the eugenics of human beings, the zombie-like murders, and even genocide. Yet in the 21st century, 70 or 80 years after the end of Nazis in the United States, there are still many conservatives who now and then reveal such ideas. Who is really chilling? Let's go back to the question itself. Does the government have the responsibility to provide disaster relief? The answer is obvious. American citizens pay so much tax to the government. It's not to support a bunch of residents who only know how to quarrel all day long or to see who is more anti-China or anti-Russia. What they need is a government that can protect their lives and properties. A government that can lend a hand to those in need in times of disaster. Rousseau's social contract theory has mentioned that hundreds of years ago. But here today, there are still people who questioned the necessity for government's disaster relief. There are still persons who ask the taxpayers to save themselves and stress that the weak don't deserve to live. How dare he?
How dare you?
Again, I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
Let's put Colorado City aside for a moment and look at Texas and its leader, Greg, who should be doing a very timely and competent job, right? Now, Greg is a big fan of Trump. Just at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, he hesitated to issue a quarantine order and didn't want to issue a decree requiring people to wear masks in the public places because he said freedom will disappear if people wear masks. Now that it snowed, he immediately issued an order to close unimportant places and advised everyone to stay at home for safety reasons. What? Will snow deprive people of freedom? Isn't a snowstorm ultimately water? Can water be more dangerous than coronavirus? The current Texas governor has already made people feel shameful. But Perry, the former Texas governor and Trump's Secretary of Energy, said that the few deaths are nothing and will not allow Texas to access the federal grid. This is certainly good news for the local energy companies. Texas power company Greedy recently drew up an emergency bill for its customers during this special period. That is $450 per day. But in the same period of last year, people only charged for $33 a month. Fine, I suggest Greedy change its name to Greedy in the future. Let's take a look at this picture. 4 million people in Texas need electricity. It's all black in the households. But in the downtown, the lights of the government offices were on. And this picture, 3,500 sea turtles were rescued. But rescuers were worried that they couldn't save more. Now I think you should understand why Tim considered the government has no obligation to rescue the disaster. Because the residents' taxes were used to pay the high sky electricity bills and save the turtles. So there's no money to save people. Again, I want to say, what a shame.
It's all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
Finally, since Tim mentioned socialism, let's look at this picture. This is Chongqing, the biggest city in western China. The size of Chongqing is equal to 80 Houstons or 116 Austins. But after a similar disaster, it only took 40 hours for the local grid to return power supply. And the city of Wuhan, the size of which is 8 Houstons and 11 Austin, removed hundreds of government officials from office in last January alone for their failure to combat coronavirus, including the city's mayor. But in the United States, in the same situation, no government officials have been punished for not taking effective measures to combat coronavirus. No one apologized for the death of its citizens. Maybe the headline of this episode is a little over-exaggerated, but I would like to say, although the disaster in Texas came from nature, if the government had put the interest of the people first and taken it as their own responsibilities in face of disaster, we could have avoided all the damages caused by the disaster. If socialism means the government should lend a helping hand to people when they need, and that the government should consider it its responsibility to help every citizen, the cold Texas needs socialism. After all, in face of disasters, every person, whether he's poor or rich, black or white, straight or crooked, has the right to live.
It's Christmas time in Texas. It's a very special time for me.
I'm Kathy Chen, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you like it, just subscribe and leave your comment. Bye!